All right, folks. Koosh, it's Sunday, July 13th. We're doing a weekend market update. We're going to keep this one simple. We're going to do Bitcoin on the high time frame. We're going to do SPX denominated in M2. The reason we're doing that again is because I'm seeing a lot of calls for potential weakness here, which would be warranted, right? Where you got such a incredible move off the lows and some different analogs to different fractals in time, and I think they're using the wrong ones. But as always, I could be wrong. But I'm going to make the case for why I think we see continuation even in the short term before any type of consolidation in general markets. But first and foremost, Bitcoin has always been telling me the story and always been telling us the story. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just doing these videos because number one, I enjoy them. Number two, I like to provide what I think is a unique perspective. And number three, I'm not affected by herd mentality. And this is in just in general in my life, I think one of my strengths, if we analyze our strengths, that's one of them. And so when we get pullbacks in areas of confluence with news that supports it, I'm thinking the opposite. I'm just thinking that the market, the bull is trying to buck people off of its back. That's the intent of what's going on here, and a big move is coming next. Versus the opposite of the way things are generally thought of. When the news is bad, this is the start of something worse, especially when the news piles on and the sentiment gets worse. These are closer to major shifts in trend, in my opinion, than they are the start of something that could be worse coming later. Not always the case, but most of the time, at least in my experience, is the case. And we saw the same thing here in Bitcoin. And I continue to say the charts are not supporting any of that. There is no evidence of any of that. In fact, the evidence is of the opposite, that we should be expecting a major breakout. And now I'm here to tell you that the biggest breakout that we've ever seen in this entire bull market is in front of us, and it could be happening at any moment. And the case I'm going to make for that is through RSI in terms of compression of power that's been going on for, and this is RSI at the bottom, for almost 2 years here, where we have, basically this channel, okay, this channel of power compression, if you will, that looks to be ready to be released. And when you think about such an impressive uh, compression event, prior to the biggest move, you need to get rid of the most speculators, right? If I'm a market maker, which I'm not, I'm thinking this is the point in time where we've got to really get rid of the leverage. We got to get rid of the speculators. We need the news on our side. And what did we get in April? And what I've coined the April abyss. We got to check back all the way down, right? Creating a lower low on power, creating a higher high in price, creating the bottom end of this channel, and a power move off the bottom, check back to this MA, which I've already talked about for weeks. I'm not talking about it again, to make a higher low right before this most important critical downtrend in power that has kind of capped price so far. And so if and when this breaks out, I'm expecting the most fierce move in Bitcoin in the shortest amount of time. That's what I think is coming next, folks. So if you made it this far, congratulations. I believe you're in it. And the only advice I can give isn't financial. It's to do the least amount and listen to the least amount of people, and do your best to just do nothing. Do nothing. That's that. All right. Next is SPX denominated in M2. SPX denominated in M2. I mean, folks, let me let's just start here. Okay, let's just start here. Let's just say this is a 15-minute chart. It's not. This is a monthly chart. And we're probably familiar with this. I've got some new folks on here, maybe not. Point being, let's do this. Let's examine. Here's the exercise for today. This is a good one. Let's examine the character of this setup where it's appeared previously after a massive reaccumulation event okay, has been completed, exceeded, and retested successfully with power. And then it approaches a previous all-time high. So far, we're 1, 2, 3 candles in. That's the set of circumstances I wish to explore. That's the best analog for what I think could happen next, not any individual fractal when the indice is not denominated in M2. Okay, so this is the set of circumstances 1, 2, 3. I think this is the most relevant. Right now, we're not even in price discovery against M2, by the way. Let me get this out of here. That's up here. That's March 2000. And so let's go back and let's say, okay, uh, where's the previous example of this? And here it is, right? It's 1966 to 2000. And we've got a few that look similar. Number one is this one right here. Boom. This is what I think is the most relevant because we had the drop, check back, and then send it down. And this was the area that was tested. Okay. Same thing we had here, right? The drop, check back, and down. So the 1, 2, 3, the ABC, the major ABC that was exceeded and retested. That's what I'm concerned with. Let's see what the action of the market was zoomed in at that moment. That's what our expectation should be, is something closer to that. All right, here we go. And that was July 1996. 1, 2, 3, 4 green months that exceeded the previous high by a fair margin. So it blew past the previous high, basically what I'm getting at. So where we are now is kind of like right here, okay? What I'm contending is at least this month, power finishing, or next month, power finishing is more appropriate, right? Something into late July, early August. Then we saw what? Consolidation, 1, 2, 3, 4 months there. Where was the next set of, what's the next set of price action that was kind of similar that you could contend? Well, here, right? So let's go to this next pivot. So bearish order block there, consolidation here. So let's say that first, no, that was the one I just reviewed. Let's say this one, this bearish order block right here. Okay. So now we're coming all the way back to here and saying, what did the market do there? Well, after it corrected, it came back to that previous pivot high, and 1, 2, 3, 4 straight months, 3 months exceeded it. Okay, so here we've got 2 months it exceeded the previous high, 3 months it exceeded the previous high. Basically, it's just like local price discovery, and it keeps running. That's the point I'm trying to make here. And then the next one where we had a major flush, here's the major flush, okay? These are major flushes. These are major flushes. And then you come back to challenge that high 1, 2, 3 months past that previous high. So that's the lens at which I'm looking at what we should all be expecting here, which isn't some 5-10% correction here. It should be, see where I'm going, folks? This is proof of work in action. So at least 1, if not 2 months minimum to exceed that previous high. Okay, prior to maybe a consolidation from higher before we go up and challenge what my next target is up here. So that's how I'm approaching this. So whatever happens next week or the week after in traditional financial markets, my bias here is that July finishes strong, and there's a potential that August even finishes really strong. But of course, I could always be wrong, and we could, all those fractals and people de-risking here, they're timing it perfectly, right? Versus me thinking to myself, we are in an unprecedented environment. We should be expecting unprecedented things. And Bitcoin's also showing us that. So folks, that's the weekend market update. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Thanks for the support. Bye-bye.